Here's another one from Dan Price on Domino's, and I love this. It says so much. It says so fucking much about the way things work now. Before I read it, the whole thing, I want to say the second part last. I mean, the second part first. That basically Domino's created these ads to tell people about the fact that they had spent $100,000 helping local businesses. I don't know what city this was or whether it was $100,000 nationwide, but so they created an ad saying, look how much we're doing for local businesses. We gave $100,000 to local businesses, blah, blah, blah. So Dan Price went and looked up how much they've spent on ads telling people that they did this for local businesses. $50.4 million on TV ads bragging about giving local businesses a total of $100,000. Meaning the entire reason they gave these fucking scraps to local businesses was so that they could brag about it on television and say, look at us, Domino's, helping everybody out. Look at how much we've done for people. We left a cold piece of pizza on the doorstep of a small business in your neighborhood. And it's just how much we care. You know, it's just we give and we give and we give. And what can we do about it? $50 million fucking dollars on ads promoting the fact that they gave $100,000 to local businesses. Not $100,000 in every city, $100,000 total. Think about how much that is on Domino's bottom line. $100,000. What do they make that in an hour nationwide? Make that in 30 minutes nationwide, 10 minutes? I fucking don't know, but it ain't long. And so they spent 10 minutes of their income or whatever to give to local businesses, help them out. Probably a tax cut too, right? They get a tax break for giving that $100 to local businesses. Probably get that as well. $100,000, and then they spent 50 fucking million telling people about it. I mean, this is the honestly, to me, this says so much because it's like we are beyond reality, right? We live in kind of a faux reality in which it's not about what actually gets done, what's actually happening in the world. It's all about media, spectacle, about making people think a certain way is what reality now is. So like you look at like Russiagate and it's like, it didn't matter that it didn't happen. What mattered was that in many people's minds, it has been created. You know, WMD, although ultimately it failed for 5 years, it worked, right? Or 3 years or however long. For years, it didn't matter there were no WMD in Iraq. What mattered was that they achieved the purpose, was that most Americans thought there were. To this day, a lot of Americans still think they were there, just that America found WMD in Iraq. But so what matters now is this false world. They're creating reality that is separate from the real reality. You know, in this faux reality, Domino's helps local businesses. But what really matters in this equation is the 50 million spent on the ads, not the 100,000 spent on helping local businesses. That is pennies. That is nothing. That is less than the cost, I bet, to make the ad. The amount they spent for the marketing campaign, meaning the company that creates the ad, I guarantee you was over $100,000. So then the amount of money spent to help local businesses is less than just what they're paying to people to create the ad, then the 50 million to show the ad on television. So we live in a false reality in many ways. And, you know, it's a cliche example, but it fucking works every time. We live in the Matrix, right? We live in a false reality in many regards. You know, I gave you some big ones: Russiagate, Syria, chemical weapons. Right now, we're seeing the same thing with this Ukraine garbage. The U.S. wants to stop this oil pipeline between Russia and Germany. The U.S. wants to sell oil to Europe, even though it'd be far cheaper for Germany to get it from Russia. By the way, I want to stop all oil pipelines. That would be nice too. But the U.S. wants to stop this pipeline. So what does the U.S. do? Well, we have to create a war or the premise of war, the specter of war between Russia and Ukraine, Russia and whoever, in order to drive a wedge between Germany and Russia and whoever else would end up getting that oil from the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So we have to do that. So we create, it's wag the dog. Videos. Maybe soon we'll see a video of Ukrainian orphans that they, and a Russian soldier just punching a little girl in the face and stealing her cookies or whatnot. And, then you'll find out that was one of the children from the Fanning family, the Dakota Fanning family or whatever. It was one of the Culkins. Like a lower, I know all the Culkins are 40 now, but the lower level, like second generation Culkins, however many are in that fucking Culkin tribe that keep pumping out Macaulay Culkin's clan. But so you find out some little actress or something, but you get the point that what is actually happening right now on the Ukrainian border, on the Russian border, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's important is what people believe is happening. In many ways, what's happening right now at the Olympics doesn't matter. What matters to the U.S. is what people believe the Olympic is. Oh, China, I saw an article recently that said China has an unfair advantage because they didn't deal with COVID like everyone else did. Meaning China didn't allow hundreds of thousands of deaths from COVID. China, if you look up the official numbers, has had 4,000 or 5,000 deaths, whereas the U.S. has had 900,000, nearly 1 million deaths from COVID. So the article in one of the mainstream media was like, well, it's not fair, these Olympics, because China didn't kill all their people with COVID. This isn't fair. They didn't have to have all their people die like we did. But anyway, what matters now is the false reality, and you're seeing it again and again and again. And this is that same premise right now with what Dan Price is talking about. Domino spending $50 million and counting. By the way, this is several days ago. So who have 50? It's way over 50 million now, but $50 million on TV ads bragging about how they spent 100,000 to help local businesses. This is kind of similar. I don't know what the numbers are. This is similar to like McDonald's. What is it? Make-A-Wish Foundation. Is that McDonald's? Or many of these things where it's to help children or whatever. It's not that they don't give some money to these things. It is. But I would love to hear the amount of money McDonald's has spent on advertising that they did that. Because that's what matters to them, is letting people know of this reality that isn't real on a large scale. $100,000 is pennies for Domino's. So, but yeah, this is the new norm. We don't live in the actual reality. We live in whatever they can afford to advertise the most. Whatever will be advertised to our brains, forced into our brains, crammed in there with a crowbar, with endless advertising, and that's the reality now. That's the reality. All right, guys. That is the end of Moment of Clarity. But radindymedia.com. If you aren't signed up for the emails there, please do so. All right, folks. Thanks a lot. I combined thanks again with thanks a lot, and it became thanks a got, which thanks a got. Thanks again a lot. Thanks a got. Keep fighting.